How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Patty. I appreciate you stopping by today. And real quick before we get into today's topic, I just want to touch on our last Dragon Raja video real quick. First thing right off the top, you guys are amazing. So many of you came in with some really clutch suggestions. My boy Azani popped up and threw in his little 2 cents too. So I really appreciate you guys. The level of engagement that we had on that video was amazing, and a lot of you pointed out stuff that I was like, oh yeah, no, I think you're right, that definitely fits into the puzzle. So just to kind of catch some people up, or anyone that didn't understand what we were talking about with missing rating from that last video, was a player on CN side that we were looking at, had about, he was like 12,000 short of a million rating. That's a lot. Everything that you're able to see from leaderboards, I went through and added up and see what we were missing up out of the total, and it was almost, it was over 200,000 rating. So a few people were like, oh, it's probably from like frames, avatars, stuff like that. A few thousand are from those. Those don't give enough rating to add up to the amount that we were missing. So 200,000 rating, that's a lot. That's a lot. That was more than Motor by quite a bit, and that is huge compared to some of the other things, which really caught me off guard. But people came in with a lot of great suggestions. Top ones, I believe, were Drax, gear and gear emblems. Oh, there was like two more things, and now I can't remember it. But there were some really solid suggestions on where some of that missing information could be coming from. Oh, kit and housing. I don't know how much those give. I know that houses have stats, but I don't know how that then impacts your player stats. We'll see once either translations get better or it gets put in our lap ourselves a week from now. So I just want to touch on that. Thank you guys so much. There was really great stuff in that comment section. I absolutely love you guys. So I kind of want to go on the same thing where we kind of get into something a little theoretical, okay? And I want to talk about let's make the game better. And I know that a few of you will already be furiously typing some stuff. I'm going to ask you to hold on for 2 seconds, boo-boo. So I have a background in IT. I worked in it for about 5 years, so I kind of understand how a company is going to approach changes, how they're going to feel about the things that they're concerned of, and how the process is going to kind of be. So anytime that you go and, are going to be essentially planning out a change like this, there's time spent in planning, implementation, testing, getting it out the door. There's a lot of pieces to that puzzle. So it is very expensive on a development process to do some of this stuff. So what I'm trying to do personally with some of my suggestions is think of things that, would almost be as little as like changing some value numbers and everything. So real easy, simple stuff that they wouldn't have to go back and recreate the wheel for, that I think would impact the overall health and strength of the product, the game we're playing, which will make players happy, increase player retention, and the more often people are playing, and the more people that are playing, it's inevitable that Dragon Raja will make more money. So it's a good thing for everybody involved. I would love to get the same energy that we got in the last video and see a lot of really amazing suggestions for some stuff down in the comment section below. I hope I have the worst suggestions that come out of this video. I hope y'all light me up in the comments and make me look a fool by having better ideas, not by hurting my feelings. Petty cries. Okay. So let's go ahead and dig into things a little bit. So the first thing that I kind of want to touch on, what I feel is the weakest link out of everything in Dragon Raja, which some of you might be like thinking, you know what it is? Think about it real quick. It's the weakest thing. All right, got your answer? For me, it's the Sigil system. Did you guess Sigil system? If you did, you're smart, boo. I'm not saying that this is absolutely by the numbers the most objectively worst thing in the game. I am just very unimpressed by this system. It becomes very expensive to upgrade. for little to no return. When you do one of these upgrades, let's do it real fast. 8. We got 8 rating from that baby. That is a lot of gold to only be giving your boy 8 rating. Did I do something? Did I upset you? Did I hurt you? Let me make this right. This there's a couple of things that I could see, a couple of ways of skinning the cat to make this system better. It doesn't have to become the best system in the game overnight. I don't want it to become so powerful it starts, outshining other things. But I think there's a lot of room for improvement here in that it's one of the weakest ways that you have to increase your character strength while, again, being fairly expensive. So, one way that you could approach this is that we could just tweak the stats so that we're getting more from each upgrade. I'm not saying it has to be 50, rating per upgrade, but it would be a lot better to be closer to that number than it is to be at 8 for the amount of resources it takes. Another thing that, direction that I would like to kind of see it going is a lot of these stats are pretty easy to get from a lot of other places at a much higher value. I wouldn't be mad to see this completely change up and there to be completely different stats on here. You might be asking yourself, Patty, what stats you want to put on there, you crazy Stop. This is a family channel. No swearing. We're not a family channel. I'm just trying to explain games, guys. This is not for children. Damn you, FCC, for making me need to say that. So if we look over here, we've got all of our elemental defenses tied into one. I would like to see each one of these to have their own spot. So say you're playing a class where, you know that Soul Dancer is the thing that you have the most trouble with running up on you. Okay, well, now you've got something where you can invest and get your water defense higher. And there's not really any other great place to do that right now, except for gear transferring and everything like that. So I think that, potentially changing up some of the stats that are available here, adding things like crit res and everything, could make this system more beneficial than it is currently. So just, a little tweak that could potentially go a good long way. But, again, this is a good example because it would just be either changing some values for how much we're getting for upgrades or switching out the stats that are in place. There's no super redesigning the wheel there. So it would be relatively easy on the developer side to be able to do that. And if that's a change that we all really like, oh, well, now you're making us really happy for pretty much nothing. So, that's the kind of thing that we're looking for here. And I just wanted to hammer that home before I bring up my next point, which is a little bit of a different direction. So one of the things that, I see the most in terms of people, either venting frustrations in my comment section. I'm really active on a couple of Dragon Raja Facebook groups. So I see a fair amount of stuff in there. One of the main frustrations, outside of some of the obvious ones, I know, guys, is that there's really not much to do. Like, once you do your dailies, it's kind of it. You've got some club event stuff and everything to keep you a little bit busy, or you're just tired of only doing the daily grind every day, and it's super monotonous. These things are going to feed into player burnout. I think player burnout is a bigger issue in this game than it needs to be. The Dragon Raja team is doing great at bringing new eyes in. We get new players fairly consistently. I still get a lot of comments from people brand new to the game. So that's great. I love that. That's amazing. I want us to keep as many players as possible. I want them here with us enjoying the game, and I want us all happier. Okay? I think one of the quickest routes to that would be making a change to dungeons. So what I would like to see happen is I would like to see, for the first 2 runs of every dungeon a week, you have a chance to get a Drac, just like we do now. But that's basically like the weekly quests right now, right? So I want us to be able to continue running dungeons and still be able to get gear from it, but those extra runs do not have a chance to drop Drax. That might be a little bit difficult on the coding side for them to eliminate that on the extra runs. But I think that would be a huge step for a couple of big reasons in terms of impacting overall player happiness, what people are able to do. I think it gives people more options. Another thing that I kind of want to touch on that might not occur to everybody. So a lot of players, as soon as reset hits, instantly group up, usually with the same party or the same few people, and then they run through and they do all of the weekly dungeons and they knock it out first day. Then they're bam done. That's it. There's a decent number of people that aren't able to get on as soon as reset clicks over, like some are, or aren't able to get time or make time in their week until there's 2 or 3 days before the reset happens again, and now they're trying to do their dungeon runs. When you're not running on the first day or two of the weekly reset, it can be very difficult to find a group. If we made this change to where people are able to run more dungeons and get more use out of it, I think it would be easier for players to be able to then find groups on any given day of the week and be able to knock out their weeklies if that's all they care about. Because right now there's a decent amount of people that aren't able to do that at all because there's not a lot of groups running. So that would, fix two decent, that would make a pretty decent impact in my opinion. So, either it be you continuously run gear, or you get at least 5 more runs per day on those dungeons. However you want to do it, but I suggest something in that direction, just because it's going to help people out. Also, another thing to kind of touch on is that if you say you did 5 extra runs a day, how quickly would you then be able to get the Drax from the store? Not all that much quicker. While some people might be able to, abuse that, most people aren't. And at the same time, it takes so many of those to actually even be able to purchase a Drac. So I don't think that would have that big of an impact or the health and longevity of the game. I think that it would keep more people playing, people being more active, and just overall improve the life of everyone playing the game. So let me know if you guys have any thoughts about that tweak or anything that you might, want to add or change about it that might make it more palatable for the Dragon Raja team. I really want to stick to giving realistic suggestions to make the game better, that, are achievable, so that they're happy, we're happy, everybody's happy, and we're all just playing the game more. Last thing that I kind of want to touch on, because I don't want this to be too long, is I want them to keep making events accessible for free-to-play players. The last event that we had where everyone got the free, or not the free, but the 50 diamond pull daily, that's amazing. I think that should be a default on every event moving forward. I would also like to see something that is not necessarily like a quest that's tied directly to, that daily, but that event, but have it work as like a random daily for the event. So one day you log on, it wants you to go run Doom. Okay, you ran Doom, now you get an extra pull on the thing. Anything that you can do to get players active and more out in the world, without giving them the whole kit and caboodle, is going to make the product stronger. It's going to make the game better. So I think a little tweak like that, where you add a daily quest or a daily activity that you need to do to get an additional pull, I think that'll go a very long way, and towards not only making people more positive about the events, but it's not going to give people so many pulls that it's now worthless to spend money on events, but it's going to increase people's ability to enjoy them which in turn makes them more likely to, spend money on it. So I'm not trying to get you guys tricked, but it's statistically proven that the more you enjoy a game, the more that you're playing it, the more willing you are to spend a little bit of money on it. So everybody wins in that situation, hopefully. So yeah, that's kind of the whole idea, and I want to be able to come back and do this from time to time and use this same kind of format, where we just kind of list a couple of suggestions, things that we see or think of that could make a pretty healthy impact on the game for everybody involved. I would absolutely love it if we had the same energy that we had on the last video and y'all roll in deep with some great ideas. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to cover what we want to hit on today. Let me know what suggestions you guys have. I'd really, really, really love to hear them. If you're one of the people typing an angry comment right now, I'm sorry, baby. I'm trying to do the best I can for everybody. You know what I mean? It's a hard world sometimes, boo. But yeah, otherwise, we should see a housing video sometime soon. I don't want to make any promises on when we're going to get that out, but I would like to do a rough, okay, here's how you kind of do the main stuff with housing, and then just kind of go from there. So I appreciate your faces. I think I've wasted enough of your time today. I appreciate you. It's been your boy Patty, and we out of here. Deuces.